everyone, and welcome to Coconut TV. A miracle of love and an explosion of passion has fallen upon Coconut TV this week with my very special guest. Yes, you. Mi gente, ella es conocida por la novela that's going on right now, El Talismán, also Más sabe el Diablo, and a lot of you recognize her from The Passions. She's my soul sister, a dear friend, a very evolved spiritual being that is going to give us great insight on what we're going to be talking about today, which is acceptance. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Gracias por estar.
Thank you for that introduction. Qué belleza de mujer, ¿verdad? Todas las cosas tan lindas que viste de mí.
Of course. I love you first, and I'm so happy that you're here today.
Bright and early.
Bright and early, yes, I know. Happy Monday, everybody. I wanted to talk about acceptance, and one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on the show is because we have such a powerful friendship, a spiritually, I feel, elevated friendship, of which when we're together, we have amazing conversations about growth and spirituality. And I wanted the audience to be inspired by that. Because if we're inspired by each other, why not bring in all these people to be inspired with us? Para empezar el carnaval, ¿verdad? La pachanga. Chiqui, 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 chiqui. What difference in your life throughout your career and your experiences with your family and just personal life and also professional life, when you are acceptance, when you're being accepting, what miracles are created in your life?
Well, you just don't suffer. Suffering, I think, suffering in the sense of, not being in a good place in your life or your energy's down is because you're not accepting of what is or what's going on. I'm not saying you have to love it, but you kind of have to say, okay, this is what I'm going through, do your best, you pray about it, and you let it be, because when you fight it, you create actually much more turmoil. Can you speak today? Turmoil, and frustration, because you want to change it. It should be this way, it should be like that, it shouldn't look this way. And I think that the more I accept the way my life is going, whether it's good or bad, the easier I have a time with my peace, my inner peace.
Yeah, I feel that that's what gives us the pain, when we say this should be like this or this should be like that. And I feel that that's a recurring human trait that all of us have, like not accepting of this is how it's supposed to be.
Well, I think humans in general tend to be very, you tend to see things a certain way, and you get stuck in that way. It's like, this is the way it should look for me. Whereas God has other plans, and this is not exactly. Sometimes, a lot of times I find it's that you kind of create this whole little movie of how your life. Remember I used to tell you that? You have this little movie, and you're the protagonist, and this is how I should look, and this is how he should be, and it's not that way. God's the director, you got to let him do his job. You're kind of like a little puppet, and he tells you what to do, and you pray, and I think if you don't fight what is, sometimes it feels like maybe you're giving up. Oh, if I don't fight, if I don't do something about it, then I'm going to be, I'm weak, I'm being a victim. Whereas it's actually more empowering to say, okay, God, this is what you've given me right now, I got it. Do your thing, and I'm going to, hold my hand, and I'll be fine.
It's a surrendering.
It's a surrendering. There you go.
And I think also, not only surrendering, but going within. Like, it's always going back within.
Yes.
Within, you meditate, and when you're in that state of you're trying to make a decision, which we both had to make.
Oh, I know, we call each other like, what do you think I should do? I don't know, what do you think I should do? It's so funny. When you're in the situation, it's hard to give yourself advice. I'm sure a lot of you feel that way. It's like, God, what do I do? Where do I go? It's always good to go to somebody else, especially somebody like Maria, or a friend that's evolved and has that spiritual, knowing that they are going to give you the best advice for you, or the best feedback. I never call it advice. I hate that word. I always feel like advice sounds like they're telling you what to do, as opposed to give me some feedback. What would you do? And I want to touch on something you said about begin within. We're both so like, ah! One of the things that I like is that I do in my life is that I feel if you go within, if you make it about you, not from an ego place, more of a, taking responsibility for your life, it's much more peaceful. It's much more.
It is. It's freeing, yeah.
Yeah, because you don't blame other people. You don't. It's
you can't be victim.
No, exactly. That victim is no good. No bueno ser víctima.
No bueno. That's actually the nut part of us. That's what I talk about in the show. The coco part of us is accepting and is loving and open, and then the nut part is the one that's always going to be very egotistical and be like, this should be like this or this should be like that, or not being accepted.
And we all have it. We all have the capability to be Mother Teresa and Hitler. I mean, everybody, maybe that's a little drastic, but you know, that good and bad, that kind of like compassionate, amazing person. We've experienced it where you can be a very evolved person, and then a situation arises that kind of like pushes the button, which is your teacher. Obviously, the situation is always a teacher for you. And you're like, wow, where did my spirituality go? How come I can't be evolved? Because we all have that side of us. And again, embrace that too.
Exactly.
You gotta accept the bad part of you, you know.
And also, you're not alone. Like you don't have to make the decision by yourself. I think that my dear friend here went through a personal thing this week, and I said to her, and very gently, I said, Eva, just go within. Like, you're not alone. You have the Holy Spirit guidance, whatever word resonates with the audience. You know, light, love. That will inspire you and help you and guide you to make a decision. I also fall in that trap all the time too, and I'm sure the audience does too, that we feel we're making a decision by ourselves, and for some reason we're alone.
That was one of the best lessons that I learned from her this week. It goes back to that, you know, I gotta do this, I gotta figure this out. I. Well, you're not alone. It's not all about you. There's so many other things that you can bring into your life that make you at ease. You were so inspirational this week. I love it. It's like, you're not alone. I'm like, oh man, that's right, I'm not. I got other people I can call. Not only friends, obviously my spiritual guidance, which is for me, God, but...
No, and I thank you, because when I share with her, and it's so beautiful when we share with our friends, then we are also learning.
Of course.
And we also get insight, because it reminds me of, because I forget too, and you need people to remind you and get you back on track. That's why my message today is cherish your friendship and give vitamins to your friendships, especially the ones that bring you to your highest best. And it's not about giving advice and telling people what to do, because what kind of responsibility is that? It's about helping that person reach their guidance within so they can make the decision. And it's seeing them how God would see them, you know, how love would see you. I have a question. I mean, actually,
that was a long answer, right? From the same question from the beginning.
Yeah, but this is actually a really good question, and this is for actors, because you know you have been a very successful actor. You are a successful actress and a celebrity in my eyes. Of course, you're a big celebrity.
Yeah, sure.
You're amazing. You're amazing.
I'm amazing.
You're amazing. I want advice for actors when they go into an audition.
Oh.
Also, people from all walks of life, whenever they have an interview, you have some great tips. You had this great one that you talked about, that when you walk in, you just say that you're amazing and who cares what anybody thinks. I don't know what it is, but it's great. What is the process?
I said to you that when I walk into an audition, which is like a job interview, I always feel more that, okay, what are you going to do for me? You know, like you have to bring a sense of like, I'm amazing, I'm great, I'm offering you me, Eva, and I'm fabulous, or Maria, or whoever your name is. And that takes away from the feeling of like, it's all about them. You kind of, because you give a lot of power away when you walk into audition. You feel like, oh my God, I want this job, what are they going to think of me? I walk in going, that's right, I'm great. And what are you going to do for me? Not with that attitude, don't put the New York in there like I did. But it's more of a sense of, what are you going to do for me? What are you offering me right here? Obviously, subconsciously, you don't walk in there saying that, but I feel like it's a confidence thing that maybe at the beginning you don't feel it, but if you do it enough times, you kind of feel like, you know what? They would benefit from hiring me. That's how great I am, what I would bring to the table, and not from an ego place, just a sense of who you are.
I love that. Yeah. Well, I think that's being aligned to your true self, to your higher self, to the Holy Spirit, to the cocoa part of yourself. There's this. You have a couple of affirmations here. You have one that says, "What others think of me is none of my business."
Oh, I know. That's a great one.
What others think of me is none of my business.
It's actually not mine.
It's not?
It's Wayne Dyer's.
Well, that's great because he's super aligned to my channel, what I talked about. And then there's, the other one is I'm amazing, which is great.
I'm amazing.
Which is great.
But enough about me. What do you think of me? I am amazing. And again, I know it sounds for a lot of people, even some of my friends, like, I can't say that. It sounds so egotistical, but if you don't have that self-love, then that's a energy that emanates when you love yourself, that other people are attracted to it because they feel like, God, what does she have? Why is she at peace? Because you're kind to yourself. You know, this is your temple. God made this, and you have to kind of take care of it. And that's why I say, I'm amazing. Of course I am. I am one with God. Why wouldn't I be amazing?
I think that's beautiful because, like you said, it's not coming from an ego place. It's coming from a truthful place. It's not like, I'm amazing would be, I'm amazing. You know, I'm so amazing. No, that's not what you're saying. You're saying, I'm amazing. I'm just...
This is how I say it. It's a relationship or a falling in love with yourself that takes you a long time. It didn't happen overnight. Don't think that in my 20s I was like, oh yeah, I'm amazing. Not so much.
Well, hold that thought.
Yeah.
But that's why I have her on the show, because you have had so many life experiences.
Yeah.
I mean, she looks great. She's like 100, right?
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
I know. I'm really 105.
She's 105.
Today's my birthday. I'm 105.
But no, she's just with all the experiences you've had, you have really taken it on to grow.
Yeah.
It's like you've really, you've made it happen.
Well, then I have a great saying that says, "Don't let the rocks in your path be stumbling blocks, but stepping stones." Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, you can. We all have hardships, come on, but you can look at them and say, "Wow," and go to a victim place, or you can say, "Okay, what am I going to learn?" That's the begin within. Okay, why am I going through this? And it's tough. I know. Trust me. I know when you're in it, it's so hard to go. What's the lesson when you're going? You want to cry and be a victim about it, but there's a lesson in everything.
I have 2 more questions before we wrap it up. One of them is, you have been acima del mundo. You've been walking red carpets, been with very famous people. You've also, had hardships. We all know. We've all known those stories. And what has kept you in faith? What has been your rock of being able to just hold it together and keep on plowing through and be where you are right now? And you don't need to cry.
I'm just, as you're saying it, I'm trying to think, what is it that I think it's a knowing. I think it's a I refuse, I guess, in a lot of ways, to wallow in it. Mm-hmm. I allow myself a moment, and then I kind of raise it up to God, and I feel that when you're in that sense of despair, when you're in that place of hopelessness, which a lot of us encounter, it does seem like it's going to never pass, but everything does pass. And I think that's why I kind of feel like, okay, this is awful, this is horrible, and I know this is painful, but it will pass. I think it's that knowing that it will pass, and my faith just kind of like makes me think that way. Because a lot of people will say, but how can you think that it's going to pass when you're so in the thick of it? I said, that's my faith. Because I know it's going to pass. Yeah. Time does pass, and then time heals. It does. You can't be in pain forever.
I always say I give myself 3 days. Jesus, like going through the whole crucifixion, whatever 3 days. I always say I give myself 3 days, and then that's it. I get off it.
Yeah, you do.
And because it's so much more powerful.
Yeah.
To just feel it and just rise above that. I feel it's so easy to be caught up in nut mode and into this feeling of lack and limitation.
Well, in a lot of ways, that's why I say it's not.
It's recognizing it.
Right, staying in that place, it's defeating, and it's a victim place. So that's why you don't feel good when you're in that place. And you know that if I'm not feeling good, it's because the thoughts that I'm having or whatever I'm processing is not good. And I guess I just go, okay, enough of that. Now I got to move on to the next phase of my,
How does Eva Tamargo deal with her coconut?
How
do you deal with your coconut? How do you deal with that cocoa part of your mind, which is confident and super powerful, and then the ego, which is judgmental and fearful? How do you deal with that battle within your head every day of
acceptance?
Acceptance, which is the title today.
Acceptance, because I don't judge it.
We've received the answer of how to deal with coconut today. Yeah,
acceptance. I feel it's what I said earlier. They're both part of me. Why wouldn't I can't judge it. I have days where I'm like,
I love that.
Insane,
accepted,
crazy, full of egos. Like, woo, let that ego run me today. I don't care. And then at the end of the day, and a sense of humor. And then I laugh about it and go, wow. I was like, woohoo, today.
Sense of humor is so important.
And I accept it.
Her and I we laugh all the time. We laugh all the time. I feel that's such a great exercise that we have. We motivate each other spiritually, but we also add a lot of laughter into that as well.
We call each other on stuff too. Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, that thing you're doing, I know where that's coming from.
That's coming from ego, girlfriend. Yeah. You better stop that. What is when I end the show, I always like to wrap it up with a cocoism, which is an affirmation for the week. And I wanted you to give the cocoism to the audience today. What are you feeling? Like something that somebody can have a mantra during the week, like when they're feeling like bad or depressed or not feeling their higher self. What would be like a good affirmation?
A good affirmation would be.
It could be. Go ahead.
I know. I have a good one.
Say it to the camera.
Let go and let God.
Let go and let God. I like that. Let go and let God. And add in there, I'm amazing.
I'm amazing. I am, exactly.
P.S.
I'm amazing.
P.S. I'm amazing. Thank you so much for being on the show today. I love you, and I want to say in front of the camera that I value our friendship. And I feel that we help each other rise to our highest potential and every day choose to see the light in each other. And that's what true friendship and love is about.
Oh,
so.
thank you. You can do like a Barbara Walters thing where she makes everybody cry at the end of the interview. Thank you.
Yes, so that's how I feel. I love
I love
it.
it.
Te quiero como un coco grande. And I love you guys like un coco grande. And I'll see you next week. Thank you for being here on Coconut TV. And subscribe.
Yeah.
Put like on the thing and
the
thingy and comments. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Eva. And have a beautiful, blessed week filled with love and light. Till next time.